Bueno, as Vanessa said, we have this session, the last session. We have the decision making before, but we have changed because this is a Russian week for politicians and people related with the administration because of the elections, you know. Then we have the appointment for this morning to another moment, and we have here a short list of good people involved in the situation of the volcano. We have some people more, a few people more, but we decided finally to have two. According to those aims, we plan for the two workshops. Then I begin by Azucuae. Azucuae del Rosario has been we share in different sessions. He's the CEO, he's the director of an enterprise of environmental education in whole Canary Island, which name is Area Rural, has been working in that activity for more than 30 years, but he has been involved here in La Palma in last few years, working as a dynamizer in different municipalities. Finally, he and his partner, his wife, lost a finca in the area of the volcano. I want to say also to Elena being here with us, but he was in Tenerife because she was in charge also as a social worker in the team who began to work giving support to those people who were suffer all the consequences of the volcano. After that, Azucuaje was, as we say the other day, the executive coordinator of Revivir el Valle, one of the projects trying to facilitate participation of the local people, local affected, with the future, with the plan, and so. We'll have here an exposition and roll-ups with the final project, which is Volcán de Talento, presented a few days ago, and where Miriam was related with it, and we'll see this different project for those young people developing La Palma, and thus being encouraged and supported by Azucuae. Azucuae, thank you very much for being here as part of this group. Secondly, you have you know Goretti. Goretti was with us the other day, the first day, the second day we be here. She has been as president of the neighbor association in Todoque. It was the village that completely disappeared by the volcano. He was been supporting with a group of the neighbors trying to conduct a strategy in maintaining a good feeling and encouraging themselves in that so strong and difficult condition, as you know, where we told you the other day they lost not only the houses, they lost a job, and the businesses till now with the impossibility to run up again the activity that she with Javier developed a paragliding project they had, and a school of parapente, the first school of paragliding, working here for more than 20 years. Goretti, thank you very much for all your interest and disposal to share all your feelings and all your knowledge here. And at the same time, Javi came in La Palma because he fell in love. I don't know if a festival with Goretti or with La Palma, but both came from the sky, or from the heart, or something like that. Javi was the manager of this project, interesting project, as a escuela de parapente, paragliding school. for all this time. He's one of the most, the person who better knows all the skies. One thing he used to tell us is, no is so important only what you can see, also what you not can see. For instance, that up of the lava there are a lot of heat, a lot of warming condition where you cannot fly over there because this is a huge problem of crash. Then the condition to develop paragliding are terrible modified because of the volcano, and is something that nothing is able to see. For instance, and he knows very well, and Javier told us many different things under the point of view of an enterprise. We have been hearing here the supporting help from the state, from Cámara de Comercio, Chamber of Commerce, different things that he has been living very strongly. To my side is Celsa Cáceres. Celsa is a fellow in my university. She is vice dean in charge of quality and ordination of all the courses. She is social worker, but she has the philosophy doctor in rural development, training and employment. And employment. He has been working very long time relate with disabled people, especially with a Canary organization, the people, how to say? Deaf people. And she's a strong value, not only in our university, but also related with projects in this island. She was born here in Los Llanos de Aridane. She knows very well all the situation of the volcano, also because his family lost a lot of piece of banana plantation, especially big according what we say, being small plantation, especially with ecological agriculture, ecological bananas. Celsi has been related with the problem of volcano also. Thank you very much, Celsi. And Julián Pérez. Julián is a student of medicine in Granada. He was over here in Los Llanos also. He has the vision of young people. Her father also one part of this plantation I told you. He speaks English fluently, is interesting also. And this is our group. Julián, thank you very much for being. Also, he will be with Celsi, the aunt and the nephew, isn't it? And this is the group. Then we go in pairs. We thought before that Azuquae with Goretti and Javi, Julián, and Celsi in the same group, 2 and 3, and we go to room probably A and C upstairs. Okay, and who is saying one of them with this the A? Who is in the A? Joyce. With Celsi? Okay. Yeah. Yes, okay. Then A going up, and the other one is Alberto, muy bien. And you are going to the C.
Can we change that? Can we make it a different one because we have something set up in C?
Okay, it can be D.
D, yeah.
D, okay. Instead of C, D.
Yeah.
Okay? Then D, in D.
Great, thanks. I think we're all set. So we met with, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Celsa?
Celsa.
Okay. Javi and Julián, thank you so much for sharing. It was a great session. And yeah, we just have some points we thought is like the most, some new points we learned from the session. And I think there was, like, one of the most important ones is that it was very poorly planned who is getting, how do you say that, money from the government, because one issue was that if you have insurance on your house that was destroyed in the volcano, you don't have the right to get money from the government. So one proposed idea is better management, so everyone has the right to get money back from the damage that has been that was caused. And in general, better disaster planning from the government. And there's a lot of corruption and not a lot of transparency, I think, was one of the main issues. And that all cooks down to lack of education, maybe. In the schools, you said that you had a lot of education in your school about the volcano and what's happening, and maybe that is lacking nowadays, so people don't know so much about it, which then results in a lack of solidarity. So people, in the beginning they said there was a lot of solidarity, but then it faded away a little bit more. Because people are just not educated enough on what's happening. So it's a little messy. And there's a one. And there's actually the physical barrier now between neighbors from the volcano, from the lava. But also it's very much divided between those that have been affected and those that haven't been affected. In the beginning there was a lot of help, but now there's a big difference between those groups. Something that we've learned, at least I didn't know, there are a lot of companies that actually take advantage of the volcano. They come and make excursions to the volcano with the tourists. And the government says that it's fine because then the money goes to the community, which actually is not true at all, because they come from Tenerife or somewhere else, so the money goes back to those islands. And they just come to La Palma, and this is something new we've learned, I would say. Just a general change of mindset is needed, that community needs to share and not to compete. Which they felt like there's a lot of competition. And in general, without this, there's no collective future, and it makes things very hard to go in a sustainable direction in general. Do you have something to add, or maybe someone from our group? No?
Just for the first point, I'll just revisit the first point. Is that because there is no education about the volcano. They all know that they live with a volcano, but they're not taught about it, how to prepare for it. So, and because of that, they're not conscious of what could happen if it does erupt. And also there's no disaster planning. So what happens is that there's one improvisation after another, even though they don't know if it's actually going to work. That, and also that there's wrong allocation of funds. A lot of people are against the roads, which they didn't need. So all of that needs to be changed so that there's better disaster planning, and all of this is actually proposed in the volcanic law that they're getting signatures for. That's it. Anything? Nothing? Okay. Thank you.
Hola. Well, actually, our points were quite alike to the previous ones. It's my thought. So, first, learn from experience. It has been a point which has been coming up again. There is no need for a community vision. In this case, in order to create a strategy for future challenges, because they know that it's going to happen again. It's a fact. Also, despite the good purposes of the social workers who came after the volcano eruption, there is a need for more well-prepared people, way more well-prepared for this type of disasters, because the people who came, they were not much into this natural disasters area, healing, so to say. And also, those interventions were done in places where there was not privacy. The conditions, the physical conditions of those interventions with the psychologists were not well thought in terms of the physical space where they have to be done. There's the need for privacy, perhaps way more sessions with the psychologists. Also, what is being clear is that the people in La Palma, they need to know more about what's under their soil, because as we know, this is a geological structure which can give the rise of a volcano anywhere in the island. It's not like the other type of volcano where there is only one place through where the lava will flow. This in this island can happen anywhere. So there is the huge need for clear scientific information. And indeed, kids, that's why we put here from childhood, they need to be educated in this. They need to be prepared from childhood. Also, what is very important is that after these disasters happen, there has to be a real fast plans for covering their needs right after the volcano. Because if they do so, I mean, if the authorities provide the basic needs like the covering, the people the victims, so to speak, they will have more time and energy to build again, like the community web, so to say. What else can I do? And from now on, something that they do need is there is the real need for all housing infrastructure should be sustainable. Otherwise, shouldn't be allowed to construct in this case.
What do you mean by sustainable?
What do I mean for sustainable?
Like can endure an earthquake sustainable, or made from materials that can be recycled?
¿A qué se refería con que toda la vivienda de ahora en adelante tendría que ser sostenible?
A eso.
Exacto.
Estaban aquí, las casas aquí estaban edificadas de una manera un poco mal, cada uno con su depósito de agua y su tubería, esa fea que era muy típica de aquí, eso se mantenía, cada uno tenía unas costumbres quizás un poco desastrosas a la hora de los residuos. Energéticamente, por ejemplo, la carpintería en ventanas y eso no era eficiente. Pues todos esos detalles, por supuesto, todos con tendido eléctrico horroroso, todos con un tendido eléctrico horroroso. Ahora muchos han pasado a las placas. Pues todo lo normal, creo yo, que no sé ni por qué se plantean no hacerlo así.
She was explaining in our group that many of the new houses that are provided for the affected people are just these already made houses. So, and that you can identify if it's like very like a squared house, that's a pre-made house. And she's saying, she was saying, let's learn from it and integrate past, like the disaster that just happened, and let's integrate the future visions as well. So from now on, if a house will be rebuilt, make it sustainable, addressing all the other factors that the island is facing, like water scarcity, waste management, efficiency, energy efficiency in the housing. So she was talking like if everything covering the needs after the disaster should also integrate this future vision and then make sustainable housing.
Okay, and now like finished how to be prepared for the future event is going to happen. At material level, of course, the housing insurance there is a must. It's a must, and mobility measures because luckily during the disaster there was quite good organization in the roads to conduct the traffic in a proper way. But this needs to be like boosted, like really there must be plans for the future events, how to use the roads and yeah. And at the psycho-emotional level is the intervention of the professionals, like they really need to be prepared and there must be proper physical spaces for those interventions. That's it.
Thank you so much to Goretti, Azucuaje, and Javi, and Celsa, and Julian for this sharing. Perhaps to close, if you have any comments, si tuvieran algún comentario, muchas gracias por compartir con nosotros. Si hay ese comentario, lo apreciamos, y si no, los invitamos a durante la comida seguir compartiendo algunas ideas que quedaron pendientes, como qué hacer, ¿no? Cuando estamos, o sea, cómo estar preparados a nivel psicoemocional, porque eso realmente no alcanzamos a trabajarlo. Actually, this point we didn't get to discuss within the group, like how will it look like to be prepared at psycho-emotional level, because we know that this island holds a lot of uncertainty for household, energy, all type of infrastructures. So, entonces los invitamos tal vez a compartir durante la comida. And